The steel door hissed shut behind Leo, sealing him in complete darkness. The holding cell on Station Arcturus wasn't technically a dungeon. It was a reinforced containment unit 3 levels below the main habitat ring, but the effect was the same. Cold, isolated, forgotten. He'd expected this the moment Commander Bella Thorne's security forces dragged him from the docking bay. The data chip in his pocket felt like it weighed 1,000 kilograms, though it was barely larger than his thumbnail. On it was information that could destabilize the entire colony network, and Bella knew he had it. What she didn't know was why. 72 hours earlier, Leo had been halfway across the Kepler belt when the distress signal reached his ship. It wasn't the official kind, no emergency beacon, no coalition frequency. This was a ghost signal, the kind smugglers and rebels used when they didn't want authorities involved. He almost ignored it. Almost. But something in the encryption pattern caught his attention. It was a child's algorithm, rudimentary but clever, piggybacking on a mining drone's telemetry stream. Someone young had sent it, someone desperate. Leo had followed the signal to an abandoned research station on Ganymede's dark side. The facility had been decommissioned 5 years ago after the atmospheric conversion project failed, leaving behind nothing but frozen labs and broken dreams. Except it wasn't empty. He found her in what used to be the hydroponics bay, a girl, maybe 12 years old, huddled inside a survival pod that was running on its last power reserves. Her lips were blue, her breathing shallow. The pod's biomonitor showed she had maybe 6 hours left. "Hey," Leo had said gently, kneeling beside the pod. "I'm here to help. What's your name?" "Maya," she whispered, her voice barely audible through the pod's failing speakers. "My mom. She doesn't know I'm here. They took me." Leo's blood ran cold. Child abduction was rare in the colony network, but when it happened, it was usually connected to something bigger. Who took you? The synthesis group. They wanted what my mom knows about the terraforming codes. Leo understood immediately. Commander Bella Thorne wasn't just the military leader of Station Arcturus. She was the chief architect of the Coalition's terraforming initiative. If someone had kidnapped her daughter to extract classified information, it meant the entire project was compromised. Maya had managed to escape during a transfer, stealing a data chip containing the synthesis group's communication logs and operational plans. She'd hidden on the abandoned station, hoping someone would find her before the cold did. Leo had extracted her, stabilized her vitals, and made a decision that would cost him everything. He couldn't take her directly back to Arcturus. If the synthesis group had infiltrated the station, and they must have, to kidnap the commander's daughter, bringing Maya back openly would paint a target on both their backs. Instead, he'd hidden her on his ship, treated her hypothermia, and headed to Arcturus alone with the data chip. His plan was simple: deliver the evidence to Commander Thorne, prove the conspiracy, and reunite mother and daughter safely. But he'd underestimated Bella's paranoia. The moment his ship docked, security swarmed him. The data chip was confiscated. He was arrested as a suspected collaborator with the kidnappers. And despite his protests, despite his attempts to explain, Bella had personally overseen his imprisonment. "You're lying," she'd said, her voice like frozen nitrogen. Her face was a mask of controlled fury, but Leo could see the cracks, the sleepless nights, the desperate hope turned to ash. "My daughter has been missing for 8 days, and you show up with stolen intelligence you claim proves some conspiracy. You're either a fool or a monster." "Commander, please." "Lock him up, maximum security. I'll interrogate him myself when I'm ready." Now, sitting in the darkness, Leo realized his miscalculation. He should have brought Maya directly. He should have trusted that a mother's love would override protocol. But he'd thought like a strategist instead of a human being, and now Maya was still alone on his ship, probably terrified, while he rotted in a cell. The door hissed open suddenly, flooding the cell with harsh white light. Leo squinted as Bella strode in, flanked by 2 guards, but something was different. Her face was pale, her hands trembling slightly. "Where is she?" Bella's voice cracked on the last word. "My ship, docking bay 7, she's in the crew quarters safe. I left her with food, water, medical supplies. I was trying to protect her." "The data chip was real," Bella cut him off. "We decrypted it, the synthesis group, 3 of my senior staff." She couldn't finish the sentence. "My communications officer, my head of security, they were all compromised." Leo stood slowly. "Then you know I'm telling the truth." Bella's composure shattered. "I threw you in here, I didn't believe you, I didn't listen. And my daughter is alive because you trained her well," Leo said firmly. "She was smart enough to escape, smart enough to send a signal, smart enough to survive. Go to her, Commander, she needs her mother." Bella didn't wait, she ran. Leo followed the guards to the docking bay, where he arrived to see Bella kneeling beside Maya, holding her daughter like she might disappear if she let go. The girl was crying, and so was Bella, their tears mixing in the recycled air of the station. Maya looked up and saw Leo. "That's him, Mom. That's the man who saved me." Bella stood slowly, her daughter's hand still clasped in hers. She crossed the distance between them and extended her free hand to Leo. "I owe you an apology, and a debt I can never repay." Leo shook her hand. "Just keep her safe, that's payment enough." As station security moved to arrest the conspirators, as the coalition dispatched ships to dismantle the synthesis group's operations, Leo prepared to depart. But before he left, Maya ran up to him and pressed something into his palm. A small metal pin, the insignia of Station Arcturus. "Honorary citizen," Bella said quietly. "You'll always have a home here." Leo smiled. In the cold darkness of space, he'd found something warmer than any star.